Seems that everywhere else PS5 is doing really well except for Japan. Okay, the PS5 is still doing awful in Japan. If you do not know, okay, in Japan, PS5 sold 4.5 million, which is about the same amount of copies that the PS4 sold. I wonder what games are selling for the PS5 because Spider-Man 2 isn't selling all too well for a major PS5 exclusive for a install base of 4.5 million people. It only sold 27,000 copies. Okay, again, Spider-Man is not the most popular IP in Japan, but if you compare it to Mario Bros. Wonder, okay, Mario Bros. Wonder sold 638,000 copies in Japan. Okay, as well. He also Pikmin 2, which will probably cross a million copies sold in Japan. Okay, it already did probably including digital copies. Okay, but Japan is like the last market where physical copies still are huge. Okay, you know, the fact that Japan is keeping physical copies alive, I think that's why Nintendo's like gonna probably keep physical games alive because they know their games still sell a huge amount of copies in Japan. Okay, you know, we also have Pikmin 4, Minecraft 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Minecraft, Pikachu, as well as Sonic Superstars and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They do not have the full sales of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, apparently, but a lot of these games are still selling well. Okay, Sony isn't doing too well in Japan. Sony is doing horribly in Japan. And Mario Wonder is doing so well in Japan that it broke sales records. Okay, it became the fastest selling Super Mario game in Europe in 3 days. Nintendo has not really announced its sales yet, but I'm assuming the game is selling pretty well. They don't have sales for America. It's the fastest selling Mario game in Europe. Managed to receive this in 3 days. It's also the second rate game in the UK after its release as well. Mario is the fastest selling game in Europe. Mario game in Europe. They don't have exact sales numbers, but it's really selling well in Europe. But in Japan, Mario reigns number one. Okay, Mario is reigning number one. It's funny that the PS5 digital doesn't know who's buying that console. Okay, it seems that Japan does not give a crap about that digital only bullshit that Sony keeps pushing. And Xbox again, nobody's buying the Xbox consoles, so it's not too surprising, you know, here. But those are these sales for and these Sony is just losing. Sony is just outright losing to Nintendo. Okay. The Switch OLED console came out a couple years, earlier, and it's outselling the PS5. You know, and also the PS5 Slim is coming out soon as well. Okay. PS5 has had some successful games released for the console, yes, in Japan, but none of them had the staying power of any of these games on Nintendo Switch. Okay. None of these games have the staying power of these Nintendo Switch. Okay. It always shows you that in Japan, Nintendo is still supreme over everybody else. Okay, Nintendo has basically won that entire market. Okay, I won't be surprised if Nintendo's next console does just as well as the Switch in Japan. Okay, because there's no way that Sony is gonna make a comeback. Okay, Sony did play okay with the PS4, and that was mostly because the Wii U failed, but the 3DS still did pretty well in Japan. Okay, and that's it about this video here. Goodbye.